Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emma Sue, a book lover that's always on a binge, which is very fitting for this video because we have indeed surpassed our reading goal for the year, which was 100 books, and we have now read 105 books in 6 months. It just further solidifies how much of a book lover I am. Now we're gonna be ranking all of the 105 books that I've read, plus the 4 fanfictions that I've read, which are all Dramini, because I'm in that phase. Keep in mind that when I'm ranking these books, they're not exactly the same scoring as I do with actual ratings of each book, because I kind of keep them separate. The ranking is more of a fun way to showcase the books that I've read and whether or not I enjoyed them. Whereas my star ratings are actual, like, how I felt after finishing the book. There may be some books that are a low rating for me, but I put higher in the ranking. It really all comes down to the vibes of it, so just keep that in mind. Let's go through all the tiers I created for this ranking. The first one is Ruin Me in Every Way, aka my god tier books or series. This is the highest spot. This is the best of the best. Next we have I Love This So Much, which is pretty straightforward. This was cute, I like it, is more of an above average type of feeling for me. It was or mid, was like average. It was average. And then we have a guilty pleasure. I know reading is subjective, but there are just those books that you know is not good writing, it is not good plotting, but you just have such a good time. So that is my guilty pleasure type of book. Next we have I Don't Even Remember What Happened, which is also very straightforward. I have no recollection that I even read this. And then the last one is I Did Not Have Fun Whatsoever. I wasted my time. That's what I'm saying with that one. I had to turn the fan on because it is quite hot in my room. The summertime is not my friend. So if you hear a bit of swooshing noise, it's from my fan. Bear with me. Now I don't have these in the order that I read them. They kind of just ended up being like this when I uploaded a picture for each book, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. So the best way to do this is we're gonna go left to right. Yeah, that seems right. We're gonna start with The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie, which is the first book in the Maid series. There's 3 books out right now. There's supposed to be a 4th one. Not sure if we're ever getting that. It's been a long time, but I read all 3 this year. So this one, we're gonna put it on I Love This So Much. This is very laggy. Why is it so laggy? I think we have too many here, so it's lagging the system, but that's okay. Now, Nicholas Russo, Best Italian Mafia Man I've read about. Needless to say, I have not read that much Mafia Man, specifically the Italian type. But either way, right now he is #1 for me, okay? And I just love him. He is so obsessed with Elena. Like, that is what I need in my life. Because what do you need? I took $2 million from you, and you were okay with that because I took off the plastic ring that I had on. This man has already married her, but that plastic ring was pissing him off. And he was like, take whatever you want, just take the ring off. Next, we have the Maddest Obsession, which is the 2nd book. And this one is personally a god tier for me because Christian Alistister and Gianna Russo, their love, the yearning that goes on in this book, the obsession. Christian Alistister, this man went to therapy because of his obsession over Gianna. He was going insane by how much he was yearning for this woman. He waited 8 years to be with her, in which she was married twice. And this man waited. Like, the patience that this man has for her. He even kept her hair tie on his wrists for 3 years, never took it off. He hasn't kissed anyone in his entire life besides her. I want Christian Alistister. Now he is my #1 Russian Mafia Man. I stand by that. 3rd one is The Darkest Temptation, which I also love. It is definitely darker compared to the other 2 because this has some triggers that are definitely triggering to people, and it is not everyone's cup of tea, but I still had a great time with it. Now Ronan is a crazy male main character. He is a mafia boss, so he has a lot of things at stake. The age gap between them fairly wide. It was a fun time. I still loved it. I still enjoyed it. But do make sure if you're wanting to read The Darkest Temptation, please read your trigger warnings. There are things that the MMC does that is very, very red flag and will put you off, because it put me off a bit, but I kind of just forgot about it. and then just enjoy the entire story. Next, we have Mile High, which is the first book in the Windy City series by Liz Tumforty. And this series just ended this past month, in May. The last book came out. There's 5 books in total. First book is Mile High. This has Xanders and Stevie. This is a hockey romance. The series itself is a sports romance, but this one specifically is a hockey romance where the male main character is a hockey player and he has a bad guy persona. And Stevie, our female main character, is the flight attendant of that hockey team. They have their own private plane that they fly on, and she's one of the flight attendants on that. Personally, I enjoyed this book. It is slightly longer than the other books, and I do think it could have been cut down a bit, but I love their love story overall. I know it put off some people because there is a 3rd act breakup in this. It dragged on a bit longer, and there are cringy moments in this one. I always recommend that people read Mile High first, like go in the order that they're supposed to be read in, because you miss so much if you don't read the first book. You start to see the other characters from the later on books in this one, and you get to learn about them, you know? So I feel like definitely read the first book if you're wanting to pick the series up, okay? Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Anyway, this is gonna go, and I love this so much. I really do. Such a good one. Okay, the second one is The Right Move. Now this, the rest of this, yeah, is gonna be God tier. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it because Ryan, Shay, and Indy, my favorite couple in this series. Ryan Shay, the act of service man that you are. His love language, it's everything. His chemistry with Indy, the way that this man serves his woman. Her dad cannot speak and uses sign language to communicate, and he learned it so that he can communicate with him. And him and Indy weren't even dating yet. He took lessons with her mom over FaceTime to learn. Excuse me. This man bought and built bookshelves and bought books because Indy loves reading books. She is a romance reader, and he even reads some of her books. I want that. We're gonna find that. He is so observant and so attentive to Indy's needs and wants. He is a man of little words, but a lot of action. I just love Ryan Shay so much. Anyway, next is Caught Up, my favorite single daddy and nanny trope book ever. We have Kai Rhodes and Miller Montgomery. Kai is a single dad of a little boy, and it's so freaking adorable. Oh, I just eat up the single daddy and nanny trope so good. And then Liz Tumforty just does it so well because what do you mean Kai doesn't exist? Now, Kai is a very patient man. He puts everybody's needs above his own. And Miller is the wild child. She is the type to not settle until one day they meet. She ends up falling in love with his son first, the little baby, because that motherly instinct of hers just took over. She wanted to nurture and care for this child. And then Kai seeing that and really appreciating Miller's existence in his life and wanting that for himself for once. Wanting to have someone that can be there for him as well. Like, they're just perfect. I love them. Next, we have Play Along, which follows Isaiah Rhodes, which is the younger brother of Kai Rhodes. I forgot to say this earlier, but Right Move is a basketball sports romance, whereas Caught Up and Play Along are a baseball sports romance. In Play Along, we have Isaiah Rhodes and Kennedy K. Isaiah Rhodes is one of the players in the Chicago baseball team, and then Kennedy K is one of the doctors on the team. This is an accidental marriage trope. They ended up getting eloped in Vegas due to so many drinks. Now, Isaiah Rhodes is another prime example of a pining, yearning man. This man has been obsessed with Kennedy for so long, and when he started that obsession, he completely stopped seeing other people. The way that he is also an act of service man like Ryan Shay, I just eat that up. Liz Tumforty, the freaking queen in writing act of service men. Now, of course, rewind it back has to also be oh my god tier. This is the last book, like I said, in this series, and it was everything. This is a sports hockey romance. The main male character is Rio De Luca, which is a character that we see throughout in all of the books, he is part of the gang, okay? And in this book, it is finally his time to shine. This is a second chance romance, but not in the way that you may be thinking right now. It is nowhere near a cheating trope. I avoid cheating tropes with everything that I've got. This is a cheating trope free zone. But you do find out what happened to cause a rift with the relationship, even though they've been separated for 6 long years. When they come together again, oh, the chemistry is so tantalizing. It is so good. You can feel the love that they have for one another, and because they've known each other since they were like 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old, the habits that each of them possess, the other is able to mirror. Their love for one another is just so rooted and grounded from all the history that they've had. And what an ending to the series. We have Quicksilver. Quicksilver, I love this. This is one of the easiest fantasy romance that I've ever read. I think if you're new to fantasy or fantasy romance in general, you're gonna like this. It is very easy world building, very easy to understand. The magic system is pretty cool. It is about fays, humans, and the discourse between the two beings and how there is darkness and all that as well. Next, we have Kingdom of Ash, which is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. And obviously this has to go in God tier. The entire series itself is basically God tier. But in this case, it's just the last book because I did read it back in January, whereas the rest of the series I read last year. So many emotional moments in this book, and there is really nothing more I can say. It was just perfection. Now, A Study in Drowning, I'm gonna put it as, this was cute. I liked it. This is more of a dark academia folklore fantasy storytelling. Also has some very deep, meaningful proses and very touchy subject matter. So we have Vicious Prince, but before that, I believe Twisted Kingdom, which is the 3rd book in the Royal Elite series. And this is the 3rd and final book for Aiden King. This entire series is by Reena Kent. And Reena Kent is known for dark romances, and this one specifically is a dark bully romance, and the bullying was bullying. Okay, read your trigger warnings if you want to pick this up. I'm gonna put this as, this was good. I like this one. It wrapped up Aiden and Elsa's story very well. I do feel like they didn't need to be 3 books for them. Maybe like a duology would have been good enough. Next is Black Knight, which is Xander and Kim's story. I did not enjoy this one. I really didn't. I understand what she was trying to do with the plot twist, but it didn't really deliver for me. It wasn't even overwhelming. It was just It was just a weird situation. So I'm just gonna put this that I did not have fun. I'm sorry. My least favorite in the series, I must say. Next is Vicious Prince, which has Ronan and Teal. Their story, it is dark and very kinky. So read your trigger warnings. Okay, this was like a whole new type of dark romance for me. It says a lot because that was one of my first really darker romances, and you know, it delivered. I'm gonna put it on I liked it. It was a fun time. Next is Ruthless Empire, which follows Cole Nash and Silver, and I'm gonna put this as I liked it as well. Just read your trigger warnings when you're reading these books. And then the Royal Elite Epilogue, which is basically just a combination of all the epilogues from each book. Nothing new really happens. I think that they extended some scenes with the children that they have, but otherwise it was alright. Now we have the Mindfuck series. Easy God tier. Now this one is actually a 5-book series, but it's an omnibus, so it's like in one thick book, and I finished this in like 12 hours. Embarrassing really, because I started at 4 p.m. and did not stop until I was finished at 4 a.m. Did I have work on that very day that I finished it? Yes I did. So I only slept for about 2 or 3 hours, and then I had to go to work. But you know what? No regrets. This is one of the best dark romances I've ever read. Lana Myers is mommy. I love her with all my heart. I love what she does, whether it's right or wrong. I'm gonna let her do it. I'm here to support. Next is a duology. Rise of the Queen is the 2nd book. Reign of the King. I like both of these. These are gonna go up here. This is Jonathan King's story, which is Aiden King's dad. Oof, let me just tell you, it was twisted. It was a twisted duology. It was a plot that you don't expect to happen, and it did. And I enjoyed it. I didn't think it had to be a duology, but overall, still a good time. Now, the Veiled Kingdom and Hunted Heir. The first one was it was a good time. And then the 2nd book happened. I wasted time. That's how I felt with the 2nd one. I'm sorry for those who love the series. Nothing happened in Hunted Heir. They literally didn't move from the forest. Could have been an email perhaps. I did not have a good time. Oh, now Little Stranger. I did not give a high rating, but I'm gonna put it on guilty pleasure because it was a guilty pleasure. I listened to the audiobook. I think the male main character's voice was just so alluring and very like I'm on the edge of my seat wanting to know what he's gonna say next. The plot I could care less about, but the male main character Malachi, he was a star for me. He's unhinged. He's crazy. He's a psychopath, but I had a great time with him. Next is another duology from Reena Kent, which is All the Lies and All the Truth. This follows one of the twins. I think it's Reina Sokolov. Let me tell you, I really enjoyed All the Lies. Really did. I'm gonna put it as cute. I liked it. Now, All the Truths dragged out a bit longer than it should have been. I'm putting it as I. This is also one that I didn't think had to be a duology. You know, it could have been done in one. There's extreme bullying in this duology. Let me tell you, it is a bully romance. So prepare yourself. But yeah, I think the second one kind of just dragged on a bit. Next, we have Blood of Hercules. I love this one so much, like almost god tier for me. I think there was just something that it was missing from the story, and I'm hanging like a thread waiting for the next book, Bonds of Hercules, the second book, which comes out sometime this year, and I cannot wait. I did an immersive reading for this, which I was listening to the audiobook while I was reading. Spectacular, spectacular. You got a full cast, especially the female main character. She was acting. She was not just voice acting, she was acting. How she was enunciating certain words, like she was in it. She was in her role, and I love that. Now, this is a Greek mythology retelling of Hercules, where in this one, Hercules is a woman, and it is also a why choose reverse harem romance. Yeah, the tension in this one, high to the roof, and very slow burn romance. Every angst, so good, so good. Next, we have Onyx Storm, and let me tell you, my mind was blown. God tier. This series, god tier. I feel like I don't really have to explain much for this one. It just is. There is no explanation needed. Zaydon and Violet. I still think about them to this day. And that ending, jail. Jail, Rebecca Yarros, jail. I just feel like I'm about to cry again if I keep thinking about Onyx Storm. So we're just gonna move on. If I start ranting now, I will not stop. And the rest of this video will just end up me being obsessed with Onyx Storm. Next, we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I loved it so much. The vibes were everything. It was giving everything that I wanted in a dark, gothic, like eerie way, and very dark humor as well. I did not expect that from Rachel Gillig because the Shepherd King duology by her was completely different. There was like no humor in that one, and this one just kept on coming, and I love that. I love the dark humor aspect of this, and Gargoyle is the best part in this book. When the second book comes out, I think this may have a potential to be a god tier duology. There was just something missing in the first book that I needed and didn't get. Next, we have Magnolia Park. This is the first book in the Magnolia Park's universe, and this story follows Magnolia and BJ. Their relationship, not gonna lie, frustrates the hell out of me. It is a toxic relationship. This series is not for everyone. I'm gonna put it, and I love this so much. And now we have Daisy Hates, which is the second book in the series, which follows Daisy Hates and Christian Hems. They're my favorite couple. They are the couple that I'm very, very invested in. I'm scared for them, especially with how this book ended. And there's only one other book for them. We don't have any news for the two books that we're still waiting to get for their story. When I read Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, I fear I will be crashing out. I will be. And this is a god tier. This couple just has my entire heart, body, and soul. Like, I love them so much. I just want a happy ending for them. Next, we have The Fine Print. Now, this is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. I'm gonna put this, all three of them, actually, on I Love This So Much. I believe each one was 4 stars and above. It's a good billionaire romance. I think my favorite was definitely the last one with Callahan Kane, because that man is a man. That man is a man. And then Terms and Conditions would be my second favorite one because that one has an arranged marriage trope. And then The Fine Print, the most fluffiest one of them all. Ooh, okay. We're getting into the Cruel Shifterverse now, which has 6 books. Let me find, there it is, Psycho Shifterverse. This is the first book. My rating for the books in this series literally went up as I read on. Overall though, I love this so much. I did. I was gonna put them in guilty pleasure, but the ratings on them just kept going up, so I'm just gonna put all of them. This was my first Shifterverse romance, and honestly, it delivered. It was such a fun, pleasurable time, okay? It also came at a good time for me in my life, because after Onyx Storm, I was on a reading slump, and this is the series that got me out of it. After a month-long reading slump in fantasy, this fantasy romance came in clutch. It is very unhinged, but very adventurous at the same time. It is also a white choose and reverse harem series like The Blood of Hercules, because it's the same author, Jasmine Maz. She kills it. Kills it every time. The men that she writes about, they grovel. They grovel. Literally crawling on their knees for their women. Just read it. Just read it. You're gonna have a good time. Next, we have the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. This one has 4 books. Throttled was really good. It definitely gave off the Formula One vibes that it was trying to give. Noah and Maya, just adorable. They're just an adorable couple. I'm gonna put this on I love this. Now, Collided, however, I did not have fun. It felt like a waste of time for me. I'm sorry, what even happened? I just didn't feel invested in the characters. Next, we have Wreck, which is Jax's story. I cried. This was a lovely story. So beautiful. And to top it off, I cried even more with Redeemed right here. Yeah, because Santiago, my Iron Man. Just my Iron Man. Ooh, okay, another duology by Reena Kent. Red Thorns and Black Thorns. This is the one that I did not like, but also I don't remember what happened. It follows one of the characters in All the Lies and All the Truths, I believe. The only thing I can really remember in this is that it was kinky and that there is a 7-year time skip between the 2 books, which I did not like. Grave Matter by Karina Hall. This is my first Karina Hall book. Have I read anything else by her? Not yet, because my TBR is never ending, so that is my fault. I will be reading more of her stuff. I have 2 duologies that I need to read by her, which is coming soon. I'm just waiting for the right time, the right mood. You know what it is. You know, mood reader. Anyway. Grey Matter, love this. Plot twist, the mystery thriller aspect to this book was everything. It is a dark romance, but the romance in this is mostly of a subplot. It's really more of figuring out what has happened to our female main character. And the revelation to what had ended up happening to her gave me chills. I got goosebumps reading this book. I really want to get the physical copy of this because I just read this on Kindle. It is on Kindle Unlimited if you want to read it. But it was so good that I want to get a physical copy. Next is another duology. We read a lot of Reena Kent books this year alone, and I'm still not caught up in the Reena-verse world, so this is not stopping anytime soon. We read Throne of Power and Throne of Vengeance. Now this is a duology that I loved. This is my favorite storyline so far from this world. This is a mafia romance with our female main character being part of the Russian mafia. And let me tell you, this was actually such a great mafia romance, especially with her counterpart, the male main character, being an assassin that is actually on the mission to destroy her mafia family. Yeah, and it's also an arranged marriage trope, which is bonus points. This one has 5 books. It is The Ruthless Voice of the Zodiac by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, which is the prequel to Zodiac Academy. Now, I'm still in the middle of my Zodiac Academy series journey. It is going to be a long journey for me. But anyway, I just finished the whole 5 books of this. First book, loved it. Great. Had my attention. Very intriguing. Now, Savage Fay, it was good too. But it left me hanging because we didn't really move plot-wise. There was not much progression. I want to put in I liked it. It was okay. I wanted more out of it. This series as a whole was just a very spicy book series. Like almost every other chapter has some spice going on. Fair warning for those who want to pick this book up. The third book in that was Vicious Fay. Vicious Fay, it was okay. I liked it. It was not my favorite. Same with Savage Fay. There was not much going on. I do think that with this series, did it have to be a 5-book series? No. Personally, I think they could have wrapped it up in 3 books. Could have been just a trilogy with all the filler scenes that was happening in each book. Now, the 4th and 5th book, Broken Fay and Warrior Fay, I loved. I had a good time. The last 2 books definitely did it for me, especially the last one. There is definitely still a lot of spicy scenes, but overall, I feel the plot actually went somewhere compared to the 2nd and 3rd book. I love Gabriel and Ryder's relationship. Their bromance is everything. They are the best kings. They are my favorites, plain and simple. They are it for me. If I only had to choose 2, they are it. They complete me. And also a cameo from a certain favorite character of mine from Zodiac Academy keeps popping up in the series, and I love that. I love the connection that it's making towards Zodiac Academy, and I'm just so excited to get back into that world because now I fully understand the correlation between the two series. The Invisible Life of Addy Laroo. I also really love this. I cried. If you haven't seen my reading vlog for my May TBR read, you need to watch that right now. I was basically distraught after finishing this book because what do you mean it's done? What do you mean there's no second book? What do you mean with that very open ending? I didn't know what to do after. I was just staring at a wall. Okay, next we have the Chestnut Spring series. We're gonna go a bit faster here because it is very late and people are gonna start yelling at me if I keep talking. Flawless, loved it. Amazing, great introduction to cowboy romance. Very fluffy romance. Heartless, also very much loved. Loved single daddy nanny trope once again. Cade fucking Eaton. The math that this man has. Where did the manners go? I don't know. I gotta calm down. Powerless. I also really love this one. This one is a different one compared to the other two because it's nowhere near cowboy. This is more of a sports romance. The male main character, Jasper, is a hockey player. I think overall this series is more of a small town romance rather than a very direct cowboy romance. This is not everybody's favorite. I personally really loved it. I think the whole friends to lovers trope was done really well in this one. Now the fourth book, Reckless, also love. Theo is everything. I love this man. He is also a cowboy. What the fuck? This has a trope that I never thought I would like. I didn't know that this had an accidental pregnancy trope, but Quicksilver did such a great job with it that I had an amazing time. I loved it. He knows how to care for Winter. Really thought out Winter's icy nature and they just complement each other so well. Golden Retriever and Black Cat relationship. Next we have Hopeless. Hopeless was I'm sorry. It was not my favorite. In fact, it is indeed my least favorite in the series. Bolt calling her sugar baby? Yeah, I got put off a lot. I didn't feel invested in their relationship. If anything, the star for this book was the dad, Harvey Eaton. Next we have Jazzed Air, which is a high fantasy book, a very high tension, angsty, slow burn romance. This was amazing. This is an Egyptian inspired fantasy book by Sarah Hasham. Book 2 comes out this July, actually, July 8th, I think. And I loved it. I love this so much. I can't move this. Oh my god, I'm struggling. Next is another Reena Kent series. This is a 4-book series of hers. First one, Empire Desire. A very high age gap. Okay, this book itself is not for everyone because the male main character in this is indeed her dad's best friend who she basically grew up with. Yeah, and the nickname, oh god, the use of baby girl or little girl or whichever one just threw me off because of the fact that he did help raise her. And for them to get together after knowing each other since she was a baby, it just felt wrong. This is definitely a forbidden romance and it's not for everyone. If you can disregard that part, you might have a good time with this. But I must say it was mid. It was good for what it was. Empire of Hate, I hated so much. It totally ruined Daniel's character. I did not want this version of that man to exist in my head. I'm gonna pretend that I didn't even read this one. I did not like it. Now, Empire of Sin, I really liked. This involves Teal's brother, Nox. I actually really enjoyed this one. It was a crazy twist, that's for sure. It has a bit of mafia element to it, and the lengths that this man goes to for his woman, literally storming a mafia party to get to her. I'm gonna put it on light, actually. I like this. Empire of Lust, though. This is the love. This is not like any other Reena Kent books I've read because this involves 2 lawyers. Their romance is everything. The tension between the 2 of them. And Kingsley Shaw, this man, dare I say the best Reena Kent man I've read so far. There is just a certain intelligence to this man that I'm just so attracted to. Kingsley Shaw is just that man, and this is a book that I can see myself rereading again. Next we have Alice, which is also a fantasy romance. I had a great time with this one. This was also a love. The magic system is very unique with its connection to spirits and the magic powers that they possess and the holder can possess as well. Very cool. Loved it. Can't wait for book 2. Poppy War is a high fantasy book. I loved it. It was a bit difficult to get into because it was my first high fantasy book, and it is set in like in a military academy, an East Asian inspired mythology involving shamanism, and I thought that was a pretty cool way of a magic system that she integrated into that. It like altered my brain chemistry. Forgotten Life of Ella Moon. I've also forgotten what happened in this book, so this is kind of I don't ever remember what happened. Zodiac Academy, yeah. The Awakening, loved it. Great introduction. The world is very easy to understand, very urban fantasy. Love the integration. Very weird at first to see pop culture being referenced to in this book. Still had a good time. The Ruthless Fay, loved. The Reckoning. The Reckoning for me is where it really picked up. The revelations that happen in this book alone, God tier. I just loved everything about this book, and therefore I'm gonna put in God tier. Next is Throne of the Fallen. This was aight. It was like very lustful. It was very Bridgerton-esque, but make it a deadly game competition with devils and demons and etc, etc. It was okay. It was not my favorite. It was just a fun time. So I'm gonna put a mid. Lights Out, I liked this one. It was cute. I had a great time. Josh and Ellie, both unhinged characters, especially Josh, their dark humor that they have. The plot that happened in this was so chaotic. I love their banter. I love their interactions. I love how obsessed they are with each other. I love that they are open to one another's kinks and interests. I could not stop laughing reading this book and listening to the audiobook. Now, Caught Up, however, I didn't have fun. To be honest with y'all, it was not what I was hoping for it to be. Now, I know I shouldn't expect it to be similar to Lights Out, but because it's like technically in the same series, I kind of expected to have some unhingedness and humor along the way, which Caught Up didn't really possess. The only thing I liked about Caught Up was the cameos that Josh and Allie made along with their cats. That was the only time I laughed. And you can see that in my reading vlog video if you guys haven't seen it yet. Ooh, Deeply Examined is my first dark medical romance book I've ever read. This was a good time. I loved it. I loved it so much. If you want a stalker romance, you might want to read Deeply Examined. And he is indeed her gynecologist. Yeah, and they do things with instruments, medical instruments. So beware. Read your trigger warnings, but have a good time. Lady of Darkness. This is the first book in the Lady of Darkness series. I liked the first book, but the second book, I lost interest so fast. I don't remember what happened. I was getting annoyed with the male main character. I was getting annoyed with the female main character. I was getting annoyed with their interactions with each other, the back and forth that they have, the mistrust that they have for each other, the withholding of informations, even though they talk about it and wanting to not withhold information from one another so that they can gain trust from one another, they still do the same thing over and over again. I was like, nope, I can't have this. Next, we have Leave Me Behind, which, God tier. God tier standalone book for me. Bones and Nellie, also a very unhinged duo, and such badasses, especially Nellie. Girl is killing it. She is not to be messed with. They're both from different special ops that end up coming together to form one team. They're both trying to kill each other, literally maiming one another along the way. The physical attraction that they have for one another could not be stopped. Real enemies to lovers, but also enemies and lovers. And beware of the trigger warnings. Please read it before you read this book. Next is the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. This is also a God tier trilogy. Very underrated. If you haven't read this yet, what you doing? This is an amazing fantasy trilogy with a subplot of romance. I felt so connected to the characters. Like, I was laughing with them, I was crying with them, like I was in that moment with them. And the stories that unfold from each character and how they all weave and tie in together, amazing, beautiful writing. And Maxentarius Sparleone, one of the best male main characters to exist. The yearning that this man has, the pining that he has over Chisana, the love that he has is so freaking pure. He is definitely a green flag man. My Dark Romeo. Now this also has a Bridgerton vibes to it in a modern day setting, basically full of rich people just wanting to pass time because they're bored. It was the spice was something else. Did not expect that. Next we have the Alliance series with Nero being the first one. Now Nero, this may not be a popular opinion, but I enjoyed Nero. I'm gonna put him as this was cute. I liked it. Not everybody liked this one because basically the female main character loses her V card to this man, and the age gap between them is very wide. So it's not for everyone's liking. I didn't like that part either, but otherwise, the overall story I enjoyed because Nero is an obsessed man. He loves his woman. This man literally drank a coconut latte for her, even though he did not like it. Peyton, the female main character, is very lucky to have Nero in her life. She can be lazy all she wants, okay? She can literally do nothing, and Nero will be loving her, giving her anything that she wants. I want someone to just provide me while I just read books and do nothing the whole day but read. Now next is King. I did not like King. King's character, horrible. He literally snapped in front of her like a dog, like beckoning her to. Like, I didn't like that. Now Hans, I would say it was alright. I'm not a fan of the pet name little girl that he gives our female main character, Cassandra. It's just not for me. And the fact that she calls him daddy during their freaky time, no, let's just forget that didn't exist. And then we can have a good time. Now Dom. Dom is a love. I just love me a Mafia Man. If Nero and Hans and King were obsessed, this man is a whole nother level obsessed. Like, they are here. And then I would say Dom is like, whew. I gave his book 4.5 stars because the vibes are vibing. This man literally tattooed his name 4 times on Valentine's ring finger. After Valentine had told him that she had slept with 4 guys, he put his name 4 times. For every man that she has slept with. Please tell me you guys haven't even met when she slept with those guys. Like, this man, he's so petty and so pathetic, but so obsessed. Now, he is definitely the reddest flag out of all 4 men, but he is the best one in my opinion. I was just so intrigued with his book and the plot. Like, everything was just bellissimo, you know? Next book is See You Later, and I love this. This was my first ski sports romance, and this was written by one of my book besties. She did such an amazing job. This is her debut novel. This was a very cute, fluffy romance. Next, we have The Enchanted Isle, which is a fantasy romance book. I love this. It is very adventurous. It's giving Pirates of the Caribbean meets Indiana Jones in a secluded island. So many mysterious elements it is. Very unique magic system and the political intrigue that goes on. The crazy things that happen on this island. It is also a love square, not a love triangle, but a love square. So there is 3 male main characters that our female main character can choose from. There is one that I'm particularly voting for, and it is indeed a commander of some sort, which you can find out once you read the book. And with how this book ended, I just need a second book. Now, Unbound, I didn't have fun. This is borderline, I don't even remember what happened as well. The premise of this was very interesting, but the delivery of it didn't do it justice. Next is Death's Obsession, guilty pleasure. This is a dark paranormal romance which involves Death himself. Involves a certain shadow version of him as well that is probably 7 foot tall. Yeah. Things get freaky. I just love the overall plot of this, and it was definitely a guilty pleasure to read about. Next is Blood Hunter, which gave very similar vibes to Vampire Diaries. If Vampire Diaries was set in a small town where there's also secret societies, a murder mystery aspect to it, a killer on the loose type thing. This was fun. I had a good time with this one. We're gonna put in I liked it. It was cute. Skin of a Sinner. I only remember the first part because that was the most memorable thing. The male main character literally went to the female main character's home and killed her foster family because they were abusive. And when she woke up during all that, he apologizes for waking her up. That's how we're introduced to the story. And that was the best part. I don't remember what happened other than that. Someone put this on. I don't even remember. Next, we have a very long title. It's called A Fairy Hunter's Guide to the Recently Undead. Again, I don't know what happened. I think something to do with fairies. Ooh, next one is a good one. Oh, this did some damage to me. I love this one. It's called The Fabric of Our Souls by Kay Marnova. My second Kay Marnova, but yeah, this was traumatizing. Tortured souls from both characters, our male main character and our female main character, they are both institutionalized, okay? They have mental health problems and they end up becoming roommates. Now, was that a good decision to be made by the facility? No. I guess they somehow complemented each other. They were trauma bonding. They really were. The romance. The spice? Oh, it was spicy. please read your trigger warnings in this one as well. Next is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. Now this one I also love. This is a Carmilla retelling, a sapphic vampire romance. I just love the proses in this one. It was such incredible writing by S.T. Gibson. I read A Dowy of Blood by her last year. Favorite vampire romance read. She just does vampires very well. Now Archer's Voice I also loved. I teared up on this one. This is a classic love story. The connection that these two main characters have for each other was so endearing. I also did not expect it to be a spicy book, so that kind of caught me off guard. I understand where it was kind of coming from as well. The Isle of Sin and Shadows, one of my recent Carrie Lake reads. Amazing. Carrie Lake is the queen of dark gothic romances. Definitely one of my favorite dark gothic romance authors, and she is an auto-buy author for me, so whatever she writes, I will buy and read. Wildfire, I didn't have fun. I did not. The beginning started really strong, like we were put into action like right away. And then somehow, I was losing interest very fast. I don't know, I didn't really have fun. A Treachery of Swans. This is a sapphic retelling of Swan Lake, which I personally love the Barbie version of Swan Lake. Like, that was my childhood. I had a good time. I'm gonna put it on like. It's not a love for me. Nothing really stood out except for the romance between the two characters, and even that felt a bit lacking. It felt like the author was wanting us to know that they've had this chemistry for a long time, but I wanted to see more between the two characters, and we didn't really get that. Now, Never Run from an Immortal is also a recent release. This is a fantasy romance with witches, vampires, fays, humans. Like, loved it. Loved everything about it. The ending, oh my god, so many betrayals in this book. You just don't expect it. I just need a book to it. I need to know what happens. Next, we have Mercy Makers. This is also a recent release. This one, oh my god, plot was just everywhere. I don't even think I can tell you what was happening. Everything's just jumbled up in my head, especially with how it was written. It was very detailed, but to a fault. Almost to the point where it just loses your interest. And this does talk about a deep topic when it comes to a person's sexuality and gender, but in a more fantasy, high academia roundabout way, and really tiptoeing the line between science, transformation, and faith. The writing was just not my cup of tea. It was a little off for me. So with that, we're just gonna put what it was. The next one is actually not my normal type of read. This is a memoir. It is Tom Felton's Beyond the Wand. I listened to this because I was just missing the wizard world, okay? I missed Harry Potter so much so that I ended up reading more fan fictions, as you can tell in the bottom row right here. This man actually went through a lot, especially the aftermath of Harry Potter. It does talk about sensitive matter, like with his use of alcohol, for instance, and it felt like an eye-opener to me as well, seeing how a celebrity is seen by others versus what they actually go through. I just thought it was really interesting. He is a very good narrator too. Like, Tom Felton, he can narrate. I was entertained. And to hear him talk about Emma Watson and his friendship with her, like, in another life, it would be them together. Kristen Hanna, I love this. I was also getting teary with this one. This is also not my type of read. It is a fiction, but it is war-centered fiction. It is a very gruesome and traumatizing story of two sisters in France during World War II, and all the unfortunate events that they go through and the traumatizing events that occurs to them was just heartbreaking. Really great writing, in my opinion. Birch Academy, also another dark fantasy romance with an eerie setting. I'm gonna put in I liked it. I enjoyed my time with this one. Now, Starfire Prophecy, I did not have fun. The writing, clunky. It felt very rushed. There were so many repetitive moments. It literally felt like deja vu reading the same sentence word for word 10 pages down. Like, didn't we just read this part? Enchantra, which is the sequel to Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, gave similar vibes to Phantasma, okay? It really kept with that Deadly Games and Trials types of vibe, but the trope in this is an arranged marriage trope, or a forced marriage trope, if anything. I love the male main character and the female main character in this. Him saying, "Don't talk to my wife, don't touch my wife," so good. And I just can't wait for more of Kaylee Smith's writing and more of this world. Beautiful Venom, I'm gonna put in, I liked it. I liked it. At first, I didn't. You need to read your trigger warnings because it was uncomfortable, especially chapter 6. Chapter 6 was very uncomfortable. As I read on, I was enjoying the dynamic between the two main characters. Now for the Dramini fanfics, I put Manacled on God tier because the slow burn romance was incredible. The tension, the angst, everything masterful. Literally cried over this fanfic. Okay, the writing that Senli New does, incredible, and I can't wait for it to be traditionally published into Alchemized, like an original work of hers now, and I'm so excited for when it comes out. Now over here we have On Losing Saturdays and Mistletoe Woes. I put on I Love This So Much. These two are short story Dramini fanfics. Loved everything about it. Just very fluffy, cute romances. If you just want quick reads, these are the ones for you. And then I also put down on I Love This So Much, Two Weddings and a Manhunt, another Dramini fanfic. This was also really good. This has an accidental marriage trope where they get married in Vegas, and the things that unfold that led up to that, like they recount it later on, and it was hilarious. This is banter-filled, tension-filled, and overall just incredible. I loved everything about this. And yeah, those are all the books that I've read so far this year. 105 books to be exact, plus 4 Dramini fanfics on top of that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed me ranking all these books. Just keep in mind that these are my opinions. Now, if there are books that I didn't like that you like, that's okay. We can all have different opinions, okay? Reading is subjective, as they say. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I love you guys, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!